Hey there friends, it's Missy again. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm back with a new layout for the Paige Evans design team. And this week we are focusing on these adorable 2x2 paper pads from the new Turn the Page collection. There are two of them, and one of them has phrases and little sayings. So cute. And then the other one has a lot of different pattern swatches. And what I like about these is they're already cut tiny, and you've got a lot of the same patterns and things that are in the bigger papers. But these papers are really thick. They're thicker than cardstock, and so they're very sturdy, and they're so cute. And if you like to create titles, big titles for your layouts, or if you like to back cut files that have, smaller pieces with pattern paper, then these 2x2 paper pads are perfect. So what I thought I would do is hand draw and hand cut some letters using the pattern swatches 2x2 paper pad and create a big title as a background design on a layout. And so that's all I'm doing here. I decided on my title. It's going to be a fun little, well, not little, it's going to be big. It's going to say, "You are the best." I know that's not a super original quote, but I don't think I'd used that yet for a layout. And so I thought, I'm going to do that. It'd be pretty easy to cut, not too many letters, but just enough to take up the entire page and make a really big statement. And so I'm just using a pencil here and kind of drawing it by hand. Now, this is the fun part to me of not using a die cutting machine, is the letters look hand cut. They don't look perfect, and that's the look I was going for. You certainly could do this on a Cameo or a Cricut, but I like that they look imperfect and they're kind of crooked, and the size of the 2x2 pages here are perfect for the size of these letters. And so there I've got them all cut out, and I think that looks so cute the way it is. I went through all the papers in the collection and I decided to use this one. This is paper number 7, and it's a really pretty light gray with some faint circles on it, and I thought it would look pretty. And there are my pictures. These are some of my favorite pictures of me and my oldest daughter. She just looks so pretty and so happy. She was smiling and laughing, and I just kept snapping, and I love when I get pictures of her laughing with her eyes closed, because she just looks so in the moment and so happy. And then of course I got the other one. She was smiling her genuine smile and just looked so pretty, and so I thought I'm going to scrap those two pictures. So what I'm going to do is create a vertical design, and I'm going to add some watercolor to this. And so to kind of give me a little bit of white space and to prep the background paper, I'm going to use some white gesso here, and I'm almost out. I've got to get some more. So that's dry, and you can see how I have like a big white strip just going down the middle there, and I'm going to pretty much stick to that area. And I'm going to use some shimmers paints that I have in my stash, and I'm going to sort of try to recreate all the colors. Well, not all of the colors, but the most vibrant colors in those letters, which to me, when I look at the letters, I see the yellows, the aquas, the pinks, and then that reddish orange color. And, I'm going to take the plastic packaging here and just kind of make a mess. There's no neat, clean way to do this. I'm not trying to be neat here. I'm just trying to get color on the background. A lot of the letters in my photos are going to cover this up, but you're going to be able to see it peeking through the letters and around the pictures. And so I'm just kind of slapping down some paint here. Can't really mess this up. If you've never tried the packaging technique and you like the look of watercolor and paint on your paper, then the packaging technique is super easy to use. You can't really mess it up. You just spray some onto the packaging, flip it over, and smush it down. And like I said, most of it gets covered up with your papers and your photos. And so even though it looks like a hot mess when you're making it, like that doesn't look like anything special at all. It just looks like, hey, this girl splashed some paint on her paper. But when you start to add things back on top of it, it changes and it looks totally different. So don't let this part of it turn you off from using sprays or paints or things like that, because it is fun. I know some people like clean layouts and they don't have any interest in using paints or sprays, and that is perfectly fine. I'm a huge fan of so many people that don't use mixed media at all, but if you do like it, this is a fun way to do it. And you know me, I like getting messy. I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty, not afraid to dye my hands a certain color. They pretty much have gesso on them all the time. So I added in that corally reddish orange color, and now I'm going to start to kind of rebuild everything and see what it looks like. I think it's important when you're adding things like this to your background to bring everything onto the page at certain points and look at it and see how it looks. And then you can see if you need to add more or if you've got enough. So I think I've got enough there. I'm going to add a little bit of tissue paper behind my pictures there just to give them a bit of a soft, subtle border, because I'm not going to add any other pattern paper behind them. I don't think it needs it. The pictures themselves stand out because they're black and white and everything else is so colorful. So that just gives them a little bit of a border. Now these flowers that I'm using are from Turn the Page. These are the ephemera die cuts. And I'm going to use these two big flower pieces on the outside of each of the photos. And then I'm going to add a little bit of embellishments. I actually use quite a bit of the puffy stickers from Turn the Page. Everything I'm using today is from Turn the Page. So pretty. I mean, it's just gorgeous. Now this tag here is from the journaling spots, and I'm just going to cut a sliver of it off and kind of use it as a little separator between the pictures. It's very subtle. You can't even really see it in this light, but in person you can see it. And it just kind of echoes the R. If you see the R, it's got like a rainbow stripe. Well, that's exactly how that tag was. So I glued all of the letters in You Are The flat, and then I decided, since I had raised the photos off the paper, I wanted to raise up the word best, because that's the best word of this whole quote, or this whole title. And so I wanted to overlap it on the bottoms of the photos since they went on top of the word the. And that doesn't bother me because you still know what that word is and you can make sense of the title. Now I haven't glued down those big flowers or the photos yet. I want to tuck in some thread, and I've got the 3 basic colors that I use all the time: yellow, pink, and aqua, or turquoise, whatever color you want to call that. And then that heart that I've got up there by the E, that is from the ephemera die cut pack also. And I'm going to create a little cluster. I felt like something needed to go right there, and so I'm going to add that little bird puffy sticker. And then I'm going to wind up adding some flowers underneath that here later. I'm going to jazz up a few of the letters and just add little accents to them with some of these puffy stickers. I'm going to use that little floral piece right there. And I do have some light aqua mint thread underneath there. And now I decided, okay, it's time to glue some stuff down. So I'm going to go ahead and glue down the flowers and the thread and the photo area. And I get asked lots of times what kind of glue I'm using. My fine liner bottle is very dirty because I use it all the time. But I got that. The bottle itself comes empty. I got it at Hobby Lobby. If you look in the aisle where they sell the model cars, that is where they sell the fine liner bottles. And you can also get them in a 2-pack on Amazon for like $8, not too expensive. And the glue that I use is from Michaels. It is the Scotch Quick Dry Adhesive. Well, it used to be Scotch Quick Dry Adhesive. Now it is called Scotch Tacky Glue. It's the same glue, they just changed the name. It's about $6.99 a bottle. I love it. It works great, dries pretty quick. I added a puffy sticker right above the pictures. I added a cute little die cut ephemera bird over on the left. And now I'm just embellishing with some more of the puffy stickers, just here and there around on top of some of the letters. I didn't want to add too much more. I felt like the letters sort of spoke for themselves, and I have the photo area nice and embellished without taking away from the photos. They stand out really well. I do come in with some Heidi Swap Tinsel color shine here, and that's a gray color, but it did kind of blend in when it dried, so you couldn't really see it. So I do wind up adding some actual black splatters in the end. And I did add a little bit of journaling, and I also stitched through each of the words up top just to add a little bit of texture. And that's the final layout. I love how this turned out. I'm so glad I went with the gray background. I think it just adds a different look to everything, and it really makes the colors pop, but it's still a really nice neutral background color without using white, because I know I use white a lot. But look at all those puffy stickers. I highly recommend you give those 2x2 paper pads a try, because they are awesome. They're very thick paper, great quality, and so pretty with all the patterns. So let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching and for joining me today. I'll see y'all next time. Have a great week.